Ladies and gentlemen, this is a stunning statistic coming out of the state of Arizona. It says 1,000 teachers have resigned since the start of the school year. It's November. That's amazing. Let's check this out.
I'm ABC 15 education reporter Eleni Dow. Since the start of the school year, the Arizona Department of Education said more than 1,000 teachers left the profession. We're taking a look at the teacher shortage crisis and what school districts are doing to overcome that.
I'll give you guys 2 minutes to work on that.
Within these four walls of Dysart schools, students are not the only ones learning. Educators who are just starting a new profession are as well.
I could see the challenges, but I feel like if it's something that it's in your heart and you enjoy doing it, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Dysart Unified this year expanded its educator prep program to include general education teachers, which Nayeli Ortiz is excited to do.
It's so challenging but wonderful, the fact that you get to be there for them, to teach them, to help them. You know, a lot of them, they need that. They don't have that at home.
This is a grow your own teacher program with people who have a bachelor's degree switching to a teaching career.
It's job embedded training plus an additional 150 hours of professional development outside of the school day in which we train our teachers to be effective in the classroom.
This teacher shortage has been a crisis for years.
First of all, teaching is not easy. And so if there was, there'd be a line out the door right now.
More educators are leaving the profession.
This is a intolerable situation.
According to new numbers from the Arizona Department of Education, more than 1,000 teachers left the profession since the start of the school year.
That is just mind-blowing because the way I was trained and brought up is just that you finish out the year. You don't leave in the middle of the year. You just don't do that. Now, certainly there could be extenuating circumstances, for sure, but these teachers have decided they've just had enough and they're done. They couldn't even do a semester. That right there needs to be studied. Like why so many teachers have decided they could not finish out the year.
More than 4,200 teaching positions remained vacant, being filled by long-term substitutes and part-time alternatives. 1,400 remain completely unfilled.
We are losing more teachers than are coming into the profession.
Alhorn says teacher salaries need to be raised and administrators need to support teachers more on discipline.
So raise your hand if you think out of the wild would be best.
More districts are turning to grow your own programs, going from 3 districts and 5 programs in 2021 to now 22 districts and 50 programs.
Ooh, very good. It helps.
And you know what? I think these programs are nice, but it's still, the problem still remains. And largely the number one reason that teachers leave is because of lack of admin support as it relates to student discipline. And if you don't have a change in that area, then it's quite possible that these teachers who you bring in through alternative means, they may arrive at the same decision that these 1,000+ teachers arrived at, that this job is not worth it because I'm not getting the support that I need from administration as it relates to student discipline. And, when I see these stories, I see very little talking about addressing that, talking about how we're gonna turn things back a little bit. Perhaps we went a little bit too far in terms of trying to account for mental health, in terms of trying to mitigate a student's situation. It's a tough household that the student lives in. It's a tough situation. So let's try to be easy. No, you got to hold students accountable. And this is an accountability means this. And so in doing that, you protect as principals, you protect the learning environment. And when you do that, teachers, they appreciate that. They feel supported. because they have an administration that will do whatever is necessary to protect the learning environment, even if it means in order to hold that student accountable, that student's got to stay home for a couple of days. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. So it'll be interesting. You know, yes, this is a wonderful program, growing your own teachers. But again, what is going to stop them from arriving at the same conclusion as those 1,000+ teachers that left? That's important. So we're going to keep an eye on this program and see how it goes. And we're also just going to keep an eye on those numbers and see if those numbers grow, the numbers of teachers who are leaving. I mean, that is a very significant number, 1,000+ teachers leaving prior to the end of just the semester, the first semester. That's crazy. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next update.